Solving the following riddle will reveal the awful secret behind the universe, assuming you don't go utterly mad in the attempt. If you already know the awful secret behind the universe, feel free to skip ahead. So let's say there's a god. And I don't mean that in a traditional sense. I mean there's a being so ancient and powerful, he's practically become a deity. He's all-knowing, all-powerful, and just all. However, this guy's more Old Testament. He travels through dimensions conquering all he sees. He enslaves so many universes he makes the Combine look like Lord Hater. As he travels, his power grows. Now here's where it gets interesting. Obviously, during his conquest, he encounters resistance. None succeed, though. Then one day, someone on one of the worlds he tries to conquer gives him a challenge. Not one to back down, the deity accepts. The challenger tells him to create something he cannot lift. The challenger knows this is a paradox, as if he's a being with unlimited power, he should be able to lift anything. But with this challenge, it shows that the god's power is limited either way if he either cannot lift it or cannot create the object. Can he do it?
I hope he's a Hebrew national.
Meanwhile, like, the rhinos over there wrecking shit. Like, just sculpting an orphanage down to the ground and, like, walking on top of it.
Flying dust.
Cool, I did it.
Now you want to fail this.
Why? Oh my god!
Hope that proves
Oh shit, I'm sorry! I'm sorry, I instinctively hit it! I did it!
Hey, get up, bitch.
Oh good, you're awake.
What the fuck?
Oh, don't even start. You think we wanted to be here?
How? What? How are you here? What is...
The Diablo sauce, dipshit. Something about it was fucked up and pretty much spawned us like goddamn NPCs.
Wait, what time is it?
I don't know, like 6? You don't have a clock in here.
Shit. I gotta shoot this review.
What?
I'm shooting a movie review.
Of what?
John dies at the end.
Can we help?
Huh?
Well, think about it. If you do it by yourself, it'll be bland and forgettable. But if you do it with us, it will give you a shtick, a gimmick that might stick better with people.
I guess you're right.
And people will just think you're playing us, getting in costume and character.
True. Alright. Let's do it. So the film starts off with a twisted version of the Ship of Theseus paradox.
Solving the following riddle will reveal the awful secret behind the universe. Assuming you do not go utterly mad in the attempt. Say you have an axe, just a cheap one from Home Depot. On one bitter winter day, you use said axe to behead a man. Don't worry, the man's already dead. Or maybe you should worry, because you're the one who shot him. He'd been a big, twitchy guy with veined skin stretched over swollen biceps, tattoo of a swastika on his tongue, and you're chopping off his head because even with 8 bullet holes in him, you're pretty sure he's about to spring back to his feet, eat the look of terror right off your face. You now have a broken axe, so you go to the hardware store, explaining away the dark reddish stains on the handle as barbecue sauce.
Are you moist yet? You should be. I'm Anthony Sully Sullivan.
The repaired axe sits undisturbed in your house until the next spring, when one rainy morning. So, you grab your trusty axe and chop the thing into several pieces. On the last blow, however, of course a chipped head means yet another trip to the hardware store.
Fuck you, yeah, get fingered.
As soon as you get home with your newly headed axe, though, you meet the reanimated body of the guy you beheaded last year. Only he's got a new head, stitched on with what looks like plastic weed trimmer line, and wears that unique expression of "you're the man who killed me last winter" resentment that one so rarely encounters in everyday life. So you brandish your axe.
That's the axe that slayed me.
Is he right?
This first scene sets the tone for the rest of the movie perfectly. You have no idea what just happened, but you're immediately drawn in. After the intro, we see Dave, played by Chase Williamson, at a Chinese restaurant. A waiter comes out with a dish, and Dave is immediately able to know the exact number of rice grains on the plate, where they were grown, and who grew them.
But that's another story. More side effects. It's always like this when I'm on the sauce.
So one of the side effects is mugging to the camera? By the way, this doesn't stop. Throughout the whole movie, it looks like Dave is on the verge of puking his smart-ass guts out.
I'm not a genius. I'm not a psychic either. Just side effects, that's all.
David Wong? David Wong? Did you doze off there?
Giamatti plays Arnie Blonstone, a reporter that Dave set up an interview with, as he wants to get his side of the story out. He starts the story with a paranormal case he and John got hired for.
He's a seeker of truth in an age of fear. He is willing to face down the legions of evil. Marconi. He will help his fellow man to find a path into the light.
And obvious green screened backgrounds.
Dave suddenly gets a phone call from John, who's played by Rob Mays.
Hello.
Dave, this is John. Your pimp says bring the crack shipment tonight or he'll be forced to stick you. Meet him where we buried the Korean whore. The one without the goatee.
That was John's code. It meant bring your gear and come to my place as soon as you can. It's important. John, it's 3 a.m, man.
Oh, and don't forget, tomorrow's the day we kill the president.
John. That last part was code for stop and pick me up some beer on the way.
That has got to be the worst code ever. I mean, at the very least, wouldn't you not want the NSA to think you're actually doing this shit?
So Dave gathers...
Wait a minute. Dave and John?
Hi guys, this is Fact Wars. I'm Dave.
And I'm John.
And I'm going to kick your ass again this week like I did last week.
So Dave gathers his gear and heads over to John's apartment, where he's waiting with glasses he never wears in the movie again, and the girl, Shelley, who hired them. She explains that her dead boyfriend has been haunting her, and Dave and John head to the house to find him, but find nothing.
Oh, jeez. Ooh. Guy must have been a hunter. Wait. John. Did I hear you say that you thought that she looked like Amber?
Yeah.
John, Amber's almost as tall as me. It's like just under 6 feet, blonde hair. Kinda top heavy.
Yeah, I know. She's cute as hell, right?
John. She's really short.
Short with dark hair. Blue eyes.
Shelly. John and I are having a bit of a problem here. We're both seeing completely different versions of you. Now, John here has eyesight problems because of his constant masturbation. But I don't think...
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
That door cannot be opened!
Shelly's snakes slither away, but they're not out of the woods yet, as before their eyes, the meat from the freezer coalesces to form a monstrous Lady Gaga. The monster grabs Dave and believes he's Marconi, the guy Dave saw on TV. John tells them that they're not Marconi, but they can get in touch with him so they can face off. They call him up and give the phone to the monster.
So we meet again, Marconi. You thought...
Damn. He's good.
Is it weird that we already prefer this over Ghostbusters? Arnie stops Dave's story, saying that he doesn't believe him. He decides to convince him that he's not kidding, like a reverse Anton Chigurh.
Okay, enough farting around. You have 83 cents in your front pocket, Arnie. 3 quarters, a nickel, 3 pennies. The pennies are dated 1983, 1993, and 1999.
I'll be damned. That's a neat trick, Mr. Wong.
If you flip the nickel 10 times, you'll get heads, heads, tails, heads, tails, 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 heads, tails,
I
tails.
don't think I want to take the time to do that.
What's the most you ever lost on a coin toss?
Sir?
The most you ever lost on a coin toss.
Last night you had a dream, Arnie. You dreamt you were being chased through the forest by your mother. She was lashing you with a whip made of knotted penises.
Jesus, what the fuck was the meaning of that dream? Dave continues his story, telling how everything happened. We flash back to a concert for John's band, 3-Armed Sally.
I once knew a man. Actually, I made that up. 1, 2, 3, 4!
Dave goes over to the nearby beer kegs, where he meets Fred.
Hey, Fred.
Here's to all the kisses I've snatched, and vice versa.
Hand cannons!
A girl named Amy comes up and takes back her prosthetic hand, saying that she needs to find her dog that bit a Jamaican guy, who Dave actually runs into.
You gotta love the skeptic, man. Do you dream, man? I interpret dreams for a beer.
I'll give you enough beer to kill you if you tell me the meaning of Arnie's dream.
I'll do it like Daniel in the Old Testament. I'll tell you the last dream that you had, and then I'll break down its meaning for you. And if I'm right, you owe me a beer. Okay, man?
Sure.
And in the dream, you were back with your girlfriend, Tina.
Whoa. How'd he know that?
And you come home, and she's there with this big unkin pile of dynamite and one of them cartoon plunger detonators ready to blow. And boom. Your eyes snap open. And the explosion at the end of the dream become the clap of thunder outside of your window. So tell me, man, am I close?
Holy shit.
Dave, freaked out and confused, leaves and stumbles across Amy's dog, Barkley. He decides to find her, but suddenly he feels something in his stomach.
God, finally.
I knew butterflies in my stomach were bullshit. We cut to later as he wakes up at home when he gets a call from John. John begs Dave in a panicked manner to come to his apartment.
Why does he still have Barkley? Wasn't he going to give him to Amy?
Dave shows up at John's, who starts acting hysterical as if something's chasing him. John finds a gun and an injectable drug John apparently used, not knowing that he's being watched. He takes both the gun and the needle and asks John about the latter. They go to a diner and talk about what happened after the concert.
Robert called it the soy sauce, but now I'm thinking that was just a nickname. It's not actually soy sauce.
Wait, Robert? Oh, right, yeah, the fake magical Jamaican.
That Jamaican guy just pulls out this sauce. He goes, "It be opening doors to other worlds, man."
But suddenly, Dave gets a strange phone call.
Yeah.
Dave? It's me.
Is this a recording?
What? No. Look, I don't know if we've talked tonight, but we don't have much time. I think I called you and told you to come here. If so, don't do it. If I haven't called, then obviously you should just stay away regardless.
You're sitting right here next to me.
Well, then just talk to me in person then. Sorry, I gotta go. Say hello to me.
What does that mean? It's me, wasn't it?
They get back in Dave's car, and Dave decides to call a pastor before he's accidentally injected with the soy sauce.
I'll try to explain this without cursing, but the black shit from Planet X that came out from that motherfucker looked like it had grown hair. Did I mention that the stuff was moving? Twitching?
I'm going to be honest with you. We both know you're fucked.
Excuse me?
Your mom writes on the walls with her own shit. Great changes are coming to Dead World, my son. Waves of maggots over oceans of rot. You'll see it, David. You'll see it with your own eyes. Do you understand?
After the pastor enters the conjuring, Dave hangs up and suddenly has a giant slug stuffed down his shirt by
Roger North.
Fascinating.
What? They harvest insects here, do they not? For their honey? Do the bees know that they make the honey for you? Or do they work tirelessly because they think it is their own choice?
I don't know, go watch B-Movie. Roger keeps expositing, saying he comes from a different dimension and that things are in motion. Dave comes up with an idea. He uses the cigarette lighter to burn the Crata, and takes the gun and corners Roger with it.
Okay. This thing I got pointed at you know what it does? I believe I have an idea, yes? And are you familiar with the old human saying, I want to shoot you so bad my dick's hard?
I am. I think it in response to the obnoxious dickhead kid in class every day.
Dave gets out and kills the leech, and then gets back in the car to see that Roger is suddenly gone. He's suddenly confronted by Officer Role Reversal here,
Detective Lawrence Appleton.
who brings him in for questioning. But unfortunately, Dave came to the police office high.
As I spoke, a strange, jittery energy began to rise up in me, radiating from the chest out. All of a sudden, I was startled to find I could see the cop's next question before he spoke it, word for word. Have you heard the name?
Have you heard the name Nathan Curry?
Everything was obvious now. All the walls of the maze turned to glass. I immediately knew two things. This list of people had all been at the party last night, and they were all now dead or heading there. How do you know that? How do you know any of this? Magic? You know damn well why. That black shit John took made blood contact with you. Now you're getting high, partner. On the soy sauce. It's got you.
Another officer comes in and tells Appleton something, and he runs out of the room, leaving Dave with Paul Blart and 20 years over here. Appleton comes back and tells Dave,
Your friend? He's dead.
Alright, hold on. I took some today. It's fading, though.
The effects don't last that long?
The side effects don't last that long. The effects will last the rest of my life, I think. Maybe longer. So, what do you think?
Huh? Well, I think you got a book here, probably, if you flesh it out a little bit.
A book? Meaning a work of fiction? Meaning it's all bullshit?
yeah, maybe that book could even be turned into an indie movie. Wanting to convince Arnie, Dave brings him out to his Jeep and shows him the spider thing that was watching him before.
Shit! Oh, shit! What the shit is that?
Ah, shit, dude! Oh, fuck, man! Damn it!
Suddenly believing him, Arnie keeps recording.
Your friend? He's dead.
What? How?
Now here's, in my opinion, the best part of the movie. The title is misleading. It seems like it's such a huge, stupid spoiler, but in reality, John dies in the middle. It's such a simple twist, but so great.
Take notes, Shyamalan.
After the detective leaves again, Dave suddenly gets a phone call from John, who tells him to leave the police station. But he obviously can't, as there's another officer in the room.
No, there's not. Check the mirror.
I don't get it. It can't hurt me, right?
Oh, I'm pretty pretty sure he can.
Easy come, easy go.
Dave manages to escape, but wonders how his phone still works if it's destroyed. John tells him to put a hot dog up to his head to make him realize that it's a psychic connection caused by the sauce and not the phone. He tells him to go to the Jamaican guy's trailer. However, as he arrives, the soy sauce wears off and Dave loses communication with John. He goes inside the trailer. Oh God, don't hurt me. I hated out of the shadows too. Dave suddenly sees himself getting shot by Appleton on the TV before hearing something in the kitchen. Shit, it's the coleslaw! Oh.
You know what's in there, right? We know Robert had a stash of the shit. And if he had a stash, he couldn't just cram it under his bed. That black shit moves. It has a will, an attitude. It bites. And then I realized all at once what I'd come here for. When I was on the stuff, that little hit in my thigh, I could communicate with the dead. With John. When it wore off, I could not. My one chance to save John lay inside this bottle. It was decided then. Just like that.
So Dave takes the soy sauce and goes night vale on us.
Okay, think. You're standing on the thin, cool crust of a gigantic ball of molten rock, hurtling through frozen space. You're in a situation that could threaten the nature of said existence on said molten ball, depending on which decision you make. But wait, there are a shitload of subatomic particles in the universe, each set into outward motion at the moment of the Big Bang. Thus, whether or not you move your right arm now, or nod your head, or choose to eat Fruity Pebbles or cornflakes next Thursday morning was all decided at the moment the universe crashed into existence 17 billion years ago. Thus, it is physically impossible for you to deviate. I never finished this thought, as I suddenly realized I was no longer in the trailer.
I'm now in the actual movie. So Dave goes to the Book of Eli before teleporting to Worthington Munitions.
Excuse me. So, I suppose you're wondering why I'm here.
Same as everybody. Trying to figure out what in the name of Elvis is going on. Everybody except me. Me, I don't even want to know anymore. I suppose you're wondering what I'm doing with this can of gasoline.
There's just something about the way he points at it so nonchalantly that just cracks me up. Appleton starts pouring gasoline everywhere and asks Dave to help him. He asks if he knows a kid named
Justin White, Mr. Wong, high school kid.
You asked me that back at the station. I remember now. That kid kind of talks like a junior gangster. He's one of them missing, right?
Well, if you're in the suburbs, that limits it to every fucking white kid.
Appleton explains that Justin called the cops when shit got fucked. Justin had the bees from Yoshi's story swarming around him, but when Appleton came back from getting a shotgun, he was fine.
Yo, what up, 5-0?
Appleton exposits his beliefs on what's going on before he shoots Dave. However,
excuse me.
I really don't think that would work.
Dave wakes up to see the trailer's on fire, but he's suddenly saved by It turns out Barkley was driving, and Dave gets in and begins to hear John's voice coming from Barkley.
Here's what I know. There are 2 people still alive from last night, other than me. Fred Chu and your girlfriend Amy.
Wait, you're with Amy? And who's got you?
Justin White, or that thing that used to be Justin.
That's 4 still alive, including Justin.
There's nothing left of Justin inside of him. In a couple of days, Justin's gonna hatch, just like that Jamaican did. And anybody in the vicinity when that happens will become a spawning pod thing. Dave, the last world that saw these things was saturated within 100 days. And don't ask me how I know that either, because I don't know.
Okay, I got another question. Everyone who took the soy sauce is either dead or comatose. Except for me.
Probably able to adjust, but you should have figured out by now, Dave. You don't choose the soy sauce. The soy sauce chooses you. The soy sauce chooses you. If it can't use you, it kills you.
It's like a yellow dick, bro. I choose you to die. Don't do it, yell. Astronome, I got your back, but he can pull the trigger, shot him twice in the sack.
Dave returns home, only to find Justin there. Justin tells him he wants to be called Shitload because
There's a shitload of us in here, yo.
Dave shoots Shitload, but it's not very effective and he knocks Dave out.
Oh, my balls. My hair.
Dave finds he's in the back of a semi-truck with Fred, Amy, Barkley, and a catatonic John.
Wait a minute. Catatonic? I thought he was dead.
I know, it's just another reason why the title is so great. Not only does it mislead you to think that John dies at the end when he dies in the middle, but it turns out he doesn't die at all!
What?!
Barkley sniffs John's hand, bringing him out of his catatonia. Fred explains that Shitload is apparently bringing them to an abandoned mall. There, he reveals a ghost door that apparently only Amy can open due to her missing hand. Dave sees a message on the floor. He runs to it, but Shitload gets to it first.
What's out there? A weapon? You trying to gang me, fool?
You know, I have to admit, the actor playing Justin is pretty talented. He's just as despicably obnoxious as a real honky thug wannabe.
He goes outside and gets shot by Appleton, who meets the others inside. He drives them away from the mall, but it turns out the bugs in Justin possessed him and they kill him, causing them to crash. They possess Fred, making John kill him. They decide they need to go through the ghost door and suit up to do so.
John, what are you doing? My weapons. I'm not gonna stand by while some white fuzz from another dimension invades our world and infects every last man, woman, and child. We're gonna go through that ghost door and clean house. What?
Went with the Old Testament.
Okay. Why? Because we're the only ones who can.
All I see is a wall.
Void stuff.
They go back inside the mall and Amy opens the ghost door, where they're greeted by Roger again, as well as Marconi. He tells them that there's a powerful evil known as Korok behind the portal that's causing all the anomalies. Marconi gives them an explosive laced with LSD, saying it will
sure fuck his shit up. Severely.
They head through the portal with Barkley and are greeted by...
Apparently it's Eyes Wide Shut world.
Yeah, sure, why not? John and Dave are taken to a church where they find that they knew they were coming.
I like the little touches, though.
The head disciple of Korok explains where they are.
Your world, you see, is a twin to our own. Up until this point, our histories were identical. There was a man named Cyrus Rooney from Tennessee. In your world, he died at the age of 17, gored to death, while trying to crossbreed a bull with a Clydesdale. In our world, the man survived. Here, Cyrus Rooney was a genius. He continued to experiment in what he called bestiology.
Yes. People from our south are into that as well.
You see, by your year, 1922, we already had self-feeding, self-healing, self-modifying computers. The very day Mr. Rooney passed, it became sentient. It gave a name unto itself and expressed desires and emotions. And from that day forward, this astonishing creature carried on Rooney's work and conformed all living nature to urge on the advancement of mankind. For some, this process was easy. Others required re-education. to process the magnanimity that is Korak. For your simpler minds, we have translated the following images into a format that we think that you will find more familiar. I believe in your world they are called cartoons. There are always those who resist progress. In our world, it is considered a crime.
God, why can't it be like that here?
The head disciple takes them to meet Korak.
Dave, John, meet Korak.
I am Korak. Welcome.
20 years ago, Korak foretold your coming. He showed us the way to your world. We have never traveled from our plane to yours. We have tried. Oh, we have tried. Dave, John, your arrival here is a new dawn. You can show us the way to go from our world to your own. You see, in our world, when someone is born with special wisdom, he shares it with Korak, so that Korak could be greater. Watch.
Bacon.
They explain that their sacrifice is needed so Korak can absorb the knowledge and travel and conquer their dimension. But Dave and John say
These special effects is fantastic.
the detonation sequence failed, leaving it up to Barkley to save the universe.
Our legions are ready for the call. And soon, all of your turmoil and unrest and confusion will vanish under the soft hand of Korak.
Did Barkley just sacrifice his life?
Damn, that dog just saved the universe.
The dog's a hero.
Amy's gonna kill me.
They escape and you reunite with Marconi, who tells them that they were actually just escorts for Barkley. We cut back to the restaurant. Dave explains that they can't be sure if Korak still exists, but there's definitely still weird shit happening in this town. He also reveals that when Barkley bit the Jamaican guy, he ingested the soy sauce in his system that allowed him to communicate with North and Marconi, and proved why dogs are man's best friend. John and Dave are still friends and work as paranormal investigators. But there's one more thing.
But just telling our story, that's not gonna do shit. Testimony of two nut jobs, that's just gonna get us lumped in with all the Roswell losers.
I see. Okay. So, what do you want to do?
We show them this.
Yeah. Someone with an electron microscope, right?
And you're willing to risk everything. Your life, your family. Because, I mean, best case scenario, your career as a journalist is gonna be over because this is all anyone's ever gonna remember you for. And don't forget that there may be people out there. Real people who don't want this out.
Oh, shit. Come on, Wong. I've been around. My first year out of journalism school, I got knocked cold covering Devil's Night for the Detroit Tribune. That was 1984. I woke up with my camera busted on the pavement, blood running down my shirt, big fat cop standing over me and he says, "Stay down."
They called you the N-word? Why on earth would they do that? I should have known. Describe yourself to me, Arnie. Physically.
It turns out Arnie was both black and dead the whole time. Somebody apparently knew he was going to meet with Dave and killed him. But Arnie is in the first phase of loss.
Well, when you got killed, you immediately assumed the shape of what I...
This can't be. I can't. I don't accept it. I got kids. I got a vacation coming up in June. I'm going to Atlantic City. I got tickets.
You're in the denial stage right now. This is all normal.
Shut the fuck up, Wong, now! I refuse to believe that I'm only here because I popped out of your imagination.
I'm sorry, Arnie. I really am.
And we end on the perfect end scene that shows the adventures of Dave and John will continue even without our observation.
Bring it up! 274 to 137!
If you weren't counting every basket as 137 points, then you'd be up 2-1. Was that there before?
I can kind of see into it.
I see people. It's a hole to another dimension, I bet.
Wanna go through?
Not really. After this point.
Just toss our ball into another universe.
Yeah, my bad. So do I have to go get it?
No, it's a man's job.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Dave! Where you been, man? Walking around for like 2 hours.
Time must move different here. Came right after you.
I'm Sergeant Vance McElroy, the Human Liberation Army. Prophecy has foretold the coming of strangers from another world. It is an honor to meet you. I must confess, I do not know from where you came, but I can tell by looking at you that you have not been infected with the great disease. I assume we share a common enemy, and if you cannot defeat him, well, then all hope for mankind will be lost.
Yeah, it's very interesting. But to perform this task, we'll need a number of items from our world. So you must let us return there and come back to begin our quest.
It is good then. We shall await your return. But as you depart, know that we of the HLA Resistance will always and forever be in your debt. For both of you mark all that is good and promising, and the fact that all good...
So that was John Dies at the end. How was it? It's pure ridiculousness and nothing else. It's just a fun movie, almost a perfect film to watch among friends. In fact, the last time my dad went fishing, the "that door cannot be opened" line was a running gag that his fishing buddies shared. And I'm gonna be honest here, I want more. There's so much that this film leaves open for continuation. We legitimately want to do it ourselves. The characters are so lovable that you just want to see them do more stuff together. It's like a team. This could be made into a TV show, maybe something Phil Lord and Chris Miller could work on. The book actually has a sequel, so that just leaves even more evidence for why this should keep going. In a world where too many things get too many sequels, this is one that needs to continue.